I feel like people assume that stay-at-home moms can only stay at home because either their husband makes a ton of money or they like cut coupons, never go out to eat, and make their own soap. That is not the case for us. My husband does a fantastic job providing for our family, but we don't make a crazy income. We definitely don't cut coupons, and we love to eat out. So how do we manage to live on one income? The simple answer is welcome back to my channel, friends. My name is Jordan, and this is where I share my journey into minimalism and motherhood and just living life against the mainstream. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn your notifications on. Today, I'm gonna be telling you about 8 swaps that we made from mainstream to minimalism that have helped us adapt to living on one income so that I can stay home with our son and soak up all those sweet moments as I watch him grow and learn. First, let me know in the comments, are you a mom? And if so, are you a stay-at-home mom or are you a working mom? First, I'm gonna start with some of the simpler swaps, and then at the end, we'll talk about the 2 biggest money-saving swaps that have helped us and I really believe could help so many families transition to one income. You might see this guy pop in and out, just depending on how he's feeling and how much attention he needs in the moment. Number 1, we swapped paying for multiple subscriptions to splitting subscriptions with our family. There are so many helpful subscriptions out there that add value to our life. Netflix, Hulu, Spotify, and we used to pay for several of them and they add up. Last year, we started splitting subscriptions with our family, and you could totally do this with friends too. Each member of our family or each household pays for one subscription and then we all share the login information. I'm not totally sure that you're supposed to do that, but whatever, we do it anyway. We have access to Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, even Walmart Plus for grocery deliveries. And my husband and I personally only pay for Netflix. It is so helpful, guys. If you're not already doing this, I feel like they'll ban it eventually, but it's totally a thing right now. So take advantage of this. Friends, family, split memberships, and just share the login information, save money. Number 2, we swapped meaningless decorations for decor that either has practical value or sentimental value. Hobby Lobby is so expensive, you guys. You could spend so much money getting trendy decorations and then they're gonna go out of style in a few years and you're gonna feel the need to go out and buy new decorations to replace those. It's just a money wasting hole. If you look around our house, there's actually a lot of spaces that aren't even decorated at all because just because the space is empty does not mean you have to fill it. There's actually something really refreshing about having empty spaces. We do not buy seasonal settings at our table. We do not buy little knickknacks to sit on our coffee table. We have these empty spaces. Even in spaces where we do have decorations, like I said, they're either sentimental or they actually serve a real purpose. In our living room, I could have easily gone and spent $150 or more on meaningless decorations to put on the wall, but instead I chose to buy a simple, good set of picture frames and some photos of our family because we can always swap those out as the seasons change and as our family evolves, and they show what's important to us. When someone walks into our house, we're displaying the things that are most important to us. Another example is my ukulele that hangs on the wall in our bedroom. This is an item that looks beautiful on the wall and it has sentimental value. My husband and I lived in Hawaii for a time and that's where I purchased this. It's also practical because it's really accessible for when I have a few free moments and I want to play some songs on my ukulele. Any decor that I have that just has like little quotes on it is always something that I have thrifted and used materials at our house to flip, and I always make it something that is meaningful to my husband and I, maybe a quote that we used to say to each other when we were dating, or something that actually has value for our family and our life and not just something you could pick up at any store for $30. Number 3, we swapped complacency for constantly evaluating what we have and what we don't need anymore. This saves us money in 2 big ways. First of all, we can sell things that we don't use anymore and get a little bit of money back for them. But the biggest way that it helps us is by reminding us of what we don't need to buy again or buy more of. And you okay? A lot of times it's easy to settle into a house and you buy things for the house and they just get put away in cabinets or drawers or closets. You forget you have them and over time you buy more, and it just turns into this cycle of wasting money and wasting space. By constantly evaluating what we have, we kind of keep an inventory. So for example, last week I ended up getting rid of this cute little pink top. I remember when I first picked it up, I thought it was so adventurous, a little bit out of my norm. I haven't worn it and I've had it in my closet for a few months. I always find myself going back to those same trusty tops that I feel good in, that fit really well. I'm sure you know what I mean. I do not need to be spending any money on shirts right now, especially not ones that are out of my normal style, because even though they look cute, I'm probably just not gonna wear them. And that actually leads into the next one. So number 4, we swapped clothing shopping for fun for maintaining a very small and very purposeful wardrobe. Ladies, this one was so hard for me, and honestly, it's the result of years of conscious thought and trying to change my lifestyle and my mindset. I definitely used to have a whole walk-in closet with like all my clothes, my shoes, everything mine. I was still going to Target and buying stuff when it was on sale or just when I was bored or when something was cute. Now I have about 50 clothing items, like in total, including my pajamas, undergarments, workout clothes. I never wake up in the morning and think I have nothing to wear. Every single piece of clothing in my closet is something that I truly love, something that I know how to style, something that I know I feel confident in and I look nice in. This is a huge one financially. I can't remember the last time that I spent any substantial amount of money shopping for clothes. That money can be used for things that are important to us. It's because I don't just randomly and mindlessly shop for clothes. Now we're gonna get into a few baby related items. Number 5, we swapped diapers and wipes for cloth diapers and cloth wipes. Okay, I know this is so intimidating, but you guys, it is so much easier than you think it is, and it saves so much money. Now, we still use a disposable at night, but even with that, we probably spend $25 every 2 months on diapers instead of $100 or more every month. The system that we have set up for our cloth diapers makes it feel so seamless and so easy. Like, it feels like we're using disposables. I actually have come to really love cloth diapering because of the simple system that we've put in place. And there are so many YouTube videos out there, so many articles online that you can easily use as resources to start cloth diapering if it overwhelms you. I promise you, it is not as gross or as hard as you might think it is. And the amount of money that it saves is literally worth every second spent folding cloth diapers and doing diaper laundry. If you guys want to see a more detailed video about our cloth diaper setup and how we manage that, leave that in the comments, and that's definitely something that I could share in the future. If you want to stay home with your kiddos, moms, this is seriously one of the biggest swaps that you should consider making. This is another baby related one. Number 6, we swapped having a ton of baby entertainment devices to just having a few durable, open-ended items for baby to play with. Actually, right now, he's literally playing with the Infantino carrier. That pretty much sums up what we use for entertainment. I think that modern motherhood is really keen on convenience and entertainment instead of development and exploration. Babies do not need that much, you guys. I see so many new moms spending a ton of money on mamaroos and jumpers and infant swings. And the truth is they're just not necessary. I mean, they're not bad, but they just don't give you that much gain. We had a infant swing when Preston was first born. It's a family member's that they literally dropped off at our house and set up like while we weren't even there. We did have times where we used it and it was helpful, but if they hadn't literally dropped it off for us, we would have been totally fine without it. Preston spends most of his time on the floor or on the bed or being held or being worn. And I think honestly, it has helped his development. He's 4.5 months and he's trying to crawl. He gets up on his knees, he rocks back and forth. I don't think he would be excelling as much as he is in his development if he didn't have so much time exploring his body and what it can do and moving around freely on the floor. We've just not found that it's necessary to spend a ton of money on things that keep him distracted or entertained for long periods of time. These next ones are gonna be so good, but we're gonna have to move into the guest room because my son is taking a nap on my bed. The lighting in here is not as good. Please stick with me. Honestly, it's kind of relevant that we're in this room for this one because number 7 is that we swapped a custom picked house that checks all of our boxes for a house that is good enough and within our means. This house is a house that our family already owned, and then we went ahead and took over the mortgage on it, and it is not the house that we would choose for ourselves out of all the houses on the market. There's definitely things about it that we wish we could change. It's within our means. Just because you have 2 incomes does not mean that you want to get a rent or a mortgage that requires 2 incomes to pay. That's a principle that is relevant whether or not you're trying to be a stay-at-home mom. Just imagine if something happens to you or your spouse. What if you get injured and you can't work, or one of you loses your jobs? You don't want to be in a situation where you might lose your housing because the only way you could afford it was with 2 incomes. This one kind of takes some humility, especially in our culture that we live in right now. It's so trendy to post a picture in front of your brand new beautiful house when you buy it, all of the shiplap and the picture perfect Pinterest rooms. But you just have to be willing to ask yourself what you actually need and what you are willing to sacrifice for the sake of being able to live off of one income. There are things in this house that we love, and there are things that we absolutely hate, but we can afford this house on my husband's income alone, and that is what's most important to us. The swap here is just accepting having a comfortable home, whether that means an apartment or a house or a condo. Maybe you temporarily live with family while you're saving money. Whatever the living situation is, making that swap is one of the biggest ways that you can save money. Even if it's for a short period of time, you can save so much money by taking $100, $200, $300, maybe even $500 off of your mortgage or your rent just to live in a simpler home. Okay, this last one's real controversial, y'all. I've been saving it for the last because I've had to summon up some courage to say the thing, put the truth out there. Here we go. Number 8, we swapped having a car we couldn't afford for having a car that we could. Now, what do I mean by couldn't afford? Most Americans are driving a car with a pretty good sized car payment. That means you can't afford the car. Just because car payments are normal does not mean they are necessary. It's probably the most socially acceptable financial parasite that is sucking money away from families unnecessarily. What do we have car payments for? I mean, is it to look nice, to feel comfortable on our commute to work? There are cars that you can buy outright with cash if you just save a little bit up that are good enough to get the job done and that aren't gonna be debt that's held over your head every single month. The first car that my husband and I bought cash was $1,000, and I'm not gonna lie, it was crap. But we saved a ton of money, and now we have a car that we actually like and that's perfect for us and our son. It feels so good knowing that we're not spending $100, $200, $300, $400 a month just to drive a car. Combined with finding a cheaper mortgage, you could literally be saving up to $1,000 a month. That alone, for so many families, could be enough to live off of one income. I'm not saying that if you have a car payment, you're a bad person. We had a car payment once upon a time, little misunderstanding with my husband. As of right now, we do not, and for most of our lives, we have not, and it is the most freeing feeling, you guys. If you have a car payment, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go find you a car that's good enough, nice enough. Once you have that car for a while, you're able to save more money and you can buy a nicer car. And then you have that car for a while, save up some money, and you can buy a nicer car. There's no one you have to answer to every month because it's your car, you own it, and that is the best feeling. Ultimately, how we spend our money shows what is most important to us. For my husband and I, our son having his mom at home was more important than having a fancy house or fancy car or expensive baby gadgets or going out shopping and things like that. It's all about priorities. Now, there are situations where I'm sure it is just truly impossible to live off of one income. Maybe you live in an area where the cost of living is really high. We've been there, done that. Maybe you have some kind of special circumstance within your family that requires a lot of extra expenses. I totally understand. I'm just saying for the average family with an average income, especially living in the South or Midwest, it is totally possible for your child to have a stay-at-home parent if you just restructure some priorities, if you just make some of these simple swaps from what is mainstream and accepted to what is minimal and a little bit out there. These are not easy to make, they're not convenient to make all the time, but we still live a comfortable life that puts what's most important to us at the top of the totem pole. If you have found this video helpful, if these tips are helpful to you at all, please like this video. That will help so much in me trying to grow this channel. If you know someone who might benefit from this information, feel free to share this with them, and make sure that if you enjoy this content, you subscribe to my channel and turn your notifications on. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time.